Hello, everybody. Chloe Lewis here from the Marma Foundation, going through today's Marma Dao community call. Call starts in about 20 seconds. We will not be going on to crypto voxels today, just keeping things a little bit simpler. And I will open up the call on Telegram like normal. We will go. I have a little rundown schedule here that Bianca tweeted out from the Marma Twitter page, and so we are going to be going through that. So here we go. So the call has officially been started. We'll give it some time for people to trickle into the call, and let me go to the Twitter page so we can start seeing what we're going to be talking about for the most part today. So today we're going to be going through, hey, Len Kazar. If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, please feel free to share how you would like to be called, what name you'd like to use. Same with you, Chluff. If you'd like to go by another name, please feel free to let me know. But today we're going to be going through selecting another address to be added to the Mintbase Marma store contract. We have an open call where every Sunday during these community calls, we select someone to be added based on their submission for their definition of love, support, and positivity. We're going to be discussing implementation details for purchasing NFTs to be collected by the Marma DAO. So eventually we'd love to use near multi-call for this type of a project where we can, for example, put in a number of NFT addresses that we'd like to purchase, and then just have maybe a sequential transaction the ordered transactions where they go through and those NFTs go back to our DAO. We can collect that way. We're going to speak a little bit about the update from the reference implementation of Sputnik Dao on v2.sputnik.fun. We've been using that for a few months now. Over to Astro, and I'll kind of dig into that a bit later. And hey there, Ricky and Everett. Hope you're both doing well. And we're kind of going to end off whether we want to discussing whether it makes more sense to move these chats to Twitter Spaces. It's been, the Twitter Spaces came out maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago. It's been getting better as it's been used more, and it might open up these calls to more individuals to kind of come take part, and so forth. Hey everyone, feel free to unmute yourselves, say hi, whatnot. I'm just gonna search out the open call link, and we can kind of discuss, if you'd like, a little bit about which piece we'd like to select for that. Seems like
cool. Yeah. Hey, happy to be here. At some point at the end of the meeting, I'd love to talk about what we want to do with Sunflower, because I think I'm at a stage where we're ready to start putting some prints out there. So whenever you want to get to that, we can kind of talk about where I'm at and what the foundation wants to do with all the little details for that.
Sounds good. We definitely have time at the end to kind of discuss community projects. So Everett, obviously, with the Sunflower project, Chluff and Len Kazar with the Near Multi-Call project as well, and any other questions community members may have. So last week for the open call, we selected someone from Kudo DAO. They submitted a video about over Sintra. It's a location in Portugal. They had a little 1 minute video they already minted on the NFT store. We've added a few people to the store this week, though. I'll drop the link for the individual that I actually think I like the piece the best. It is a unique piece they created specifically for this. Is this going to even show it? It's a unique piece they created specifically for this entry of seahorses, and let's see if I can just It's not going to let me just share the actually, maybe it will. Copy link. Let's see if I can do it like that because it's on the forums. There we go. Perfect. It's like a piece like seahorses and seahorses carrying their young. It was pretty interesting, pretty colorful. And so far, in my opinion, I think it's a pretty unique piece to add to the collection. I know, Ricky, you're counsel in training. Whenever you want to actually be on the council, by the way, we can add you up. Feel free. I know you've been busy with work and family stuff. And Bianca, feel free to share your opinions of other pieces that you like as well. And community, feel free to share your opinions. And you can do it in the chat as well. You don't have to unmute if you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree with you. That's my favorite piece for this week. I love how colorful it is. I love how it's very unique, and it shows like love and positivity. So I vote this one as well.
Awesome. Well, if there are no general objections, then at the end of this call, we will add this person in. So so this is kavenagi.near. So their little spiel for this submission was, "Hello, I am Carolina, and this is my version of love, support, and positivity. My process is a mix of several methods, including traditional and modern ones. I made a mix of techniques equally compared to the proposed theme and inspired by you all of the Marma J Foundation. I created a collection based on it. This is my first one. One of the most beautiful relation to support, love, and positivity that exists, the seahorse, and all around them." So the title of this piece is "Giving Birth, a Seahorse Story of Forever." So pretty unique piece. I'm excited to kind of add them on to the store, and let's move on. So we do have a proposal out to spend around $1,500 US per month on NFTs from the near creative community in general, but specifically from the Marma J community, from the Let's BB creative stores, and from the Mint Base store. So I know I spoke to it earlier that it would be, we're hoping to have a submission form Bianca's working on putting up on the website. As well, we would like to use near multi-call. Currently, trying to purchase NFTs through the DAO has actually been quite challenging because of gas issues. So being able to, have a vote that schedules a few calls might be more efficient. Haven't actually tried that yet with near multi-call. So, Chlef and Len Kazar, if you guys get to that eventually, purchasing NFTs on Mintbase, that would be great to have more context there. But for this month, I personally feel like keeping it simple might make the most sense. Whether we do have so the form incoming soon, just kind of publishing the submissions from the form to the community, and then just having a normal proposal, say with funds going to myself or to Bianca or Rebecca, where we can just go and purchase the NFTs manually and send them back to the DAO. That is how I see it being reasonable for the month of October, and maybe the month of November we can move to a more automated system. But again, comments, concerns, questions, always welcomed and appreciated. And if there are no questions, comments, concerns, we'll probably go with that and we'll move on to the next item. Okay, wonderful. Looks like we'll be getting that form up soon. Well, Bianca, whenever you get that form up, then we will have a kind of a similar to the open call, where anyone in the community will be able to put their near name, put a link to the NFT, so on Paris or Mintbase, either one is fine. And I guess a short description of arguably why should this piece be collected by the Marma J Foundation. Obviously, the Marma J Foundation has a lot of or tries really hard to support the spread, spreading love, positivity, and support in general throughout the Web3 space. So we will be collecting as many pieces as possible and trying to distribute economic assets as widely as possible. But obviously, if something is completely against our mission or vision, we probably will not be collecting that into the DAO's collection. So quickly, I did want to also share the new UI for the Sputnik Dao or Astro DAOs on Near. We did used to use, let's go here, v2.sputnik.fund, and this link is in our pinned message, but I will also share that one down here so you can kind of see the difference. The V2 DAO actually does not work currently for a number of reasons. There's a few bugs. So currently I'm signed in as marma.near, which is one of the council members on the DAO, and I cannot vote. So that is issue number one. I could not use the UI to vote. Of course, I could try using CLI, which just doesn't sound like a very efficient way of trying to vote on things through the DAO. As well, if I try and link to a specific proposal, it is broken. So I could share that link as well in the Telegram chat. If you try and click the link, it probably will not work. Hey there, Ramesh. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming out to the call. We're kind of just going through the item of upgrading from V2 .sputnik.fund UI into the Astro UI. Now, the Astro UI has actually come along quite a bit recently and is doing quite well. One of the main issues that we have currently is that fungible tokens are not displayed appropriately in terms of decimals. So here's this vote where I tried to send one Marma J to myself, and it tried to send, 10,000 or a million. I can't even remember. Way more than one. Where is it here? Yes, I tried to send one, and you can't even actually see the vote. Whoops. But if you scroll down on the V2, here you go. Request payout. This is the amount it tried to send. So yes, a million. So clearly that is a decimal issue. We cannot be using, that's not going to work out very well for community members saying, hey, I'd like to receive 200 Marma J tokens, let's say, for working on near multi-call, and it will try and give 200 million. Yeah, so that's not very good. An update to that is supposed to be coming out this week, and so the decimal issue should be fixed. There's some other small issues, like links in the proposals can't be clicked. Not the biggest deal. You can just copy and paste them. As well, instead of saying the specific fungible token that's being distributed, it just says FT. For the Marma J DAO currently, that's not that big of a deal. But of course, we plan and hope to have multiple fungible tokens in our DAO address. We already do. We have cucumbers and Mika tokens and Marma J tokens and the like. But if if someone says, hey, I'd like to receive 100 FT, and we don't know if it's 100 DAI or 100 Marma J, we have to look into this, into the CLI to figure out what token it is. Again, not very efficient. So that is an update we're hoping to get to soon. So by next week, we should be fully onto the new Astro UI, which is very exciting. Looking forward to it. And yeah, been waiting a long time to be able to use a more efficient, production-ready UI for the Marma J DAO. And the last kind of line item we had specifically was whether to transition this call from how it is now on Telegram. In my opinion, we started off this way because we wanted to keep it relatively closed. We didn't actually have a very purposeful plan when it came to these calls. It was kind of just, let's get together at least once a week, discuss certain topics in the DAO, and kind of share what we're working on. But I feel as though Twitter would be more open towards the general Near community and just the general crypto community. People can pop in, pop out, and they wouldn't have to actually join our group to be able to take part in the conversation. The biggest issue is dealing with people asking for the mic and being able to, it becomes more of a presentation, which I guess this already kind of is. I could talk forever about Marma J stuff, to be fair. And of course, people in the community can just ask for the mic and we can just have them up. And all these links that I'm sharing in the chat could just be pinned to the top of the Twitter Spaces. So that's kind of the general idea, where we'd have the first 3 weekends or the first 3 Sundays of the month would be a general Twitter Spaces chat where, Marma J Dao Council would be kind of giving updates, and then community can come up, ask for the mic. Like, Everett, for example, is planning to talk about sunflower after this. So we do would still have that. And then at the end of the month, we'd have more of a video call format where we would hopefully be able to get more like presentations of what's been worked on for the grant that the Marma J Foundation has from the Near Foundation. We're going to be submitting monthly reports to receive our grant funds. And so I think it would also work well to have kind of like a community video report to go along with it to showcase what the community is working on as well. So again, any concerns, comments, questions, implementation, detail questions, ask away, or you can ask later or ask in the chat. But that's about all that I had to speak about specifically.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick question. Is the Twitter platform a similar user to use as Telegram that we're using? At the moment, just because I've never used the Twitter platform before, in terms of like this video calling, I thought this Telegram one when we first started off was pretty cool already.
Yeah, so on Twitter, there's no video calling. It's just audio. And pretty much it's at the top. So if you don't use Twitter at all, then that would definitely be an inhibiting factor, like a barrier. And if you were not on Twitter and didn't have a plan to be on Twitter, that would, in my opinion, be a good reason to stick to Telegram. But in general, pretty much you're on Twitter. There's a little like purple, it's kind of like Instagram stories when someone goes live on Instagram. It's very similar to that. So you basically just click the little circle with everyone talking in it, and you can instantly hear what everyone's working on. You don't have to follow anybody. You don't have to speak or share anything. And then if you do want to speak, you can like request the microphone. And then, the host can let you speak. Yeah. So are you on Twitter currently, Ricky, or no?
No, I'm not. I actually need to set up a Twitter account. I don't have one.
Okay. Well, no rush there. At this point, we can test it out maybe throughout the week. That might be a reasonable next step. Or maybe test it out next Sunday for, to see how it works out. And if you don't have a Twitter account by then we can just plan to do it on Telegram. So maybe that will be what we do. Let us know when you get a Twitter account, and that'll be when we make the switch. I'm in no rush. Keeping it like this is perfectly fine for me. If anything, it's a lot less stressful to have it like just community members. Opening it up to the rest of crypto Twitter is a little more stressful, but it'll be fun, I think. But yeah. On that note, Everett, it would be great to hear more about Sunflower from you. I know you were working on mint-based integration this week. And so, yeah, the floor is yours.
Cool. Yeah. So I was just doing testing this last week, making sure that I have all the functions and stuff in place so that we can integrate Mint-based directly into like our own UI on my website and eventually on the Marma J website. So that all went pretty well, pretty straightforward stuff as far as coding goes. So the next step is for me to finish just designing the UI of like what it's going to look like. And then I wanted to discuss with you all 3 things. One is how many of these prints are we going to do? Is this going to be a 10-piece collection? Is it going to be a 50-piece collection? Somewhere in between, more, the other is price, and those 2 will be linked. How many do we want to sell each one for? And then luckily with Mint-based, we can set it up so that it will automatically be split between us. So we'll just do that 50-50. And then the last thing is, how do we want to present the NFT in terms of display, because the one limitation with Mintbase and pretty much every marketplace right now is the like upload amount, and the file itself is too big. So what I did for the original one was to upload a super compressed version and then just airdrop essentially, or like, Google Drive drop the high quality version. So we could do the exact same thing for these prints, or we could do, I would have to actually play around with it, but we could potentially do just a preview of the high quality version, and have that be the NFT. And then again, the last thing is like, do we want to just do airdrops manually, or I could also try and build out we could figure out how to, essentially we'd have to figure out how to host it, and then I could build a page on either of our websites where the user could then log in with their wallet containing the NFT, and that would grant them access to view the hosted version of the high quality version. So lots of stuff to think about, but yeah, I wanted to start off first with the price and amount of token to mint.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, quick question, just on the last point there. Have you looked into Mintgate at all? I know some of the NXM artists have used Mintgate to be able to like mint a lower quality NFT, where if you own that, you can have access to like hearing the entire sound file or whatever else.
I have not looked into that. What was it called?
Mintgate. I will do my best to Mintgate. Mintgate.app. So
Mintgate.
Yeah, I dropped the link in the Telegram. They were in the OWC, Open Web Collective, I don't know, earlier this year, I guess. And they allow you to do token gating through NFTs. I know people at Near have used it with Mintbase specifically. I want to say Dedeoku or Dede has used it. I'm pretty sure I own an NFT that they used. I have never actually tried to access it. I own the NFT. And yeah.
Do they allow you to upload like high quality versions, like big file sizes?
So I think they're just gating the actual like web page. So I think you'd have like the full like a link to download the full quality on like a website link on like the URL, okay. And then basically if you own the NFT, you'd be able to access that page. So
I can pretty much do that with the development. All it is the thing that I'm kind of missing is where, or that I need to figure out is like where to host the high quality version so that people can access it. I can make it so that you have to have that particular ID in your wallet to log in to a certain page on the website. I'm pretty sure I have that at least.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, depending on how you want to do things, you could just upload it to Arweave on your own, for example, and then hope that Mintbase allows you to like use your own Arweave links in the future. But we could go over the other points before. I just wanted to know if you've like heard of Mintgate, if you've played it with it before.
No, I hadn't. So I'll definitely check that out before I make any final decisions.
Okay, let me see. In terms of like how many NFTs and the price, I'm usually along the idea of more additions for a lower price is more efficient to distribute the assets to more people. And so that's usually the way I go about, or like, the Marma J Foundation goes about pricing its NFTs. Usually we try and make at least 10 to 20 editions, and we try and keep our prices between, 1 to 3 near. So, I guess if there's like if you were planning on doing multiple releases, I'm assuming that there's like a certain amount of near that you have in mind for like what the project would bring in. So
I mean, I'm not worried about the money really. I'd rather just get it out there. So if you all want to do, we can do 2 near or 3 near, and then just however many you think people would want to do. My only pushback on that is just that rarity increases demand. So like finding the balance between making it available and accessible, but then also still like valuable, so that it's not just like, oh, I can get this whenever because there's 1,000 of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Doesn't need to be 1,000. But also, I guess it depends like what the demand is for. So if the demand
Which
is,
we don't really
yeah, which is fine. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool like user flow in general, to know that you have a certain NFT, you can access a certain gated part of a website, and be able to download a full quality file of something or access. In my opinion, I mean, again, others can feel free to unmute and share their opinions. In my opinion, it's more like a novelty flow, like where potentially, like if, Ricky, for example, if I send Ricky one of these NFTs and he's like, I have no clue what this is for, I have no clue what's going on here. But it's pretty cool, useful. It showcases the power of NFTs, in my opinion, when someone's able to go to a website, feel like it's a unique experience they're having, that only them and another like 20 people can experience while they hold the NFT. For now.
So my thought then is 20 for 3 near each, or 40 for 2 near each. That's what just kind of popped into my head. I don't know if either of those sound good to you all, though.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I mean, I guess I would go for the I'd go for the 41, just to make it a bit less expensive for people. And I'd be down with it being 1.9 near, to be honest. I like the number. So.
Okay. Is 40 a good number, or do we want to make it more exclusive at 30?
We could do 30 pieces at 1.9 near each. And I think, it's a first experiment to see how the sale does, how many people buy them. There could be, giveaways for some of them as well, to kind of showcase the experience of,
for sure.
Token gating on near.
Okay, 30 at 1.9.
Sounds good to me.
And so I'm looking at Mintgate, and it looks like it's all in ETH.
Yes.
Is that something you want to explore, or do we want to keep it in the near ecosystem?
They do have near stuff.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, they don't have it on their website though. They're special people. I'm gonna have to. They're annoying about it. I'll find the links and I'll share it to you at a later time.
The gating stuff is something I kind of want to experiment with anyways, just to learn for myself. So I think if you all are okay with it, I'll just try and do that myself.
Yeah, no, that's even better in my opinion. The more people working on it, the better. Yeah,
we'll keep it on Mint base so that we can have this split creator, split wallet thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then so then the last point is, and then I'll just have to figure out how I'm going to host it. I'll try to do Airweave if I can, but sometimes the quality of the distributed networks isn't that good, in which case I will probably just do a regular database. So I'll experiment with Airweave though, for sure. And then do you all think that the compressed version is appealing enough, or should I try and do a smaller version that's higher quality?
Compressed version is appealing enough, or a smaller version of higher quality. I guess I'm always in mind for a higher quality version. I mean, a lot of people might look on their phones anyways. And so I don't really think it needs to be larger. If you can get it a little bit smaller and a higher quality, I think that would be great. A lot of people are just on mobile anyways. And so.
Oh, I meant in terms of like length, like actually cutting up the song.
Oh, length. Even that, I think that would be cool as well, because it could also just be multiple editions if you wanted. So we could test out multiple like drops, even, for example, where you can like collect all four, in my opinion, as an example. Like test out one drop with this, 30 pieces, 1.9 near. A second drop could be more or less, less exclusive. And it kind of gives us the opportunity to test out multiple drops and different variations of how things are going to work. And then there could be some kind of, collect all four, get access to, XYZ reward, whatever else.
Oh, well, I guess I was just thinking about the preview. I was thinking that anybody who got the NFT would get access to the full song. I'm just talking about the thing that you see as the preview on Mintbase. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the NFT still wouldn't have the full song, right? So I'm just more saying that the NFT could have, like, there could be 4 different versions, or 2 different versions, or multiple versions of the NFT.
Oh, okay. And they're all like different sections of preview of the NFT?
Yeah.
Or of the main song, rather? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just because, some people might, like me, for example, even like I was saying, I own some NFTs that are token gated for other things, and I still haven't actually gone to the other thing. Generally, if it's not like directly connected to the NFT, I usually won't access the other part of it, like the Web 2 section, unless I know exactly what it is. So I think just having some sort of like on-chain collector's piece could have value as well.
Okay, that makes sense. And then we could do like and then like you said, we could do it in chunks, and you could like try and collect them all for, I don't know, we can come up with something at the end.
we can come up with something later. It's not experiment.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that's enough for me to work on for this week.
Awesome.
Thanks for the input.
And May and I are going to be doing the NCD Level 1 on Tuesday. And May is going to be working on, she already has the credentials for marma.org, and she's going to be working on the near login there as well. So over the next couple of weeks, she'll probably be able, hopefully me too, but I doubt it. She'll be able to also help with the implementation of some of this stuff on the Marma website too. But thank you so much for coming to the call and sharing what you're working on and getting some input from us. It's been kind of, fun experiment to work with. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to do more with it.
Awesome. Chluff and Lenkazar, near multi-call team. Do you guys have any updates or anything there?
Yes, I think. So we started working this week. So first day was yesterday and today. We made also a trailer board, and normally Linux sent you the link so you can follow along with us with the tickets and things we're going to be working on. What have we worked on last week? So we added a function that allows the DAO to recover all funds from the contract without having to specify exactly and make calculations about how much should be needed for the storage, etc. So now you can simply say, hey, recover here, and send it to this account, and it will the contract will send all funds that are possible to get out of the
contract to that account. Second thing we worked on is we improved our parallel function. It's like we have sequential that takes a array of contract calls and it executes them one after the other. And parallel executes like a bunch of cross-contract calls at the same time in parallel. And now parallel can also take an array of sequentials, and so it will take how do I say this? An array of contract call arrays, and it will execute these sequentials in parallel. And of course, the calls inside one sequential execute one after the other. And that should help like with gas improvements. We also now, if we have like multiple calls that have the same target, they will be batched in one smart contract, cross-contract batch, and that should also help with gas efficiency. And and we've been also working on the DAO, the V2 DAO UI fork. So you guys can also, after we finish that, so we'll be able to also test out the functionalities we are working on. Mainly what will be different in this fork is you'll be able to modify the gas parameter inside custom calls for your proposals. Other than that, I think Chloe has the link to the Trello board, and we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That is a wonderful update. Gonna ask though, where exactly did you send the link to the Trello board?
Lena sent it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I sent it to you in a direct message or private message.
Yes, I see it now. Thank you very much. Just making sure I don't lose track of it. Get lots of messages. Awesome. That very good overview. I think that explains. In my opinion, hey there, Searched as well. In my opinion, explains what you guys have been working on, how it's getting more efficient. I know last time we chatted, one of the things we talked about was being able to reclaim all the extra near from the contract. That obviously helps with, in my opinion, for testing. If you want to make sure you're sending more than enough near, and then you want to just be able to claim all without having to do any calculations, that's very helpful. I haven't thought too much through the parallel calls. So definitely sounds exciting though. In my opinion, I have to think through it more, our personal use cases. Go ahead, Shalaf.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. I think we also tried to include explanations in the Trello ticket, and maybe one very good use case for the parallel calls is I know that the Marma J Foundation always tries to pay its bounties in the Marma J token.
Yes.
So you guys always have to keep paying for the storage and then transferring the token. And what the parallel can help with is it can help you combine multiple payouts. So multiple payouts in one proposal. So you'll be able to, in one proposal, pay for everyone's storage and give everyone token transfers. And top of the head napkin math. With now the new gas improvements, you should be able to pay storage and do token transfers to approximately 40 people in one proposal. Before the gas improvement, it was around 30.
Okay, I definitely see a general, for us, I think some of the times it's being able to distribute to multiple members is definitely useful. We need to do more work at figuring out implementation details of when or why we'd be distributing. Some main ideas would be, for example, anyone that's completed a payout proposal in the month, for example, would then be able to receive, like say, one Marma J at the end of each month. But I think on our side, it's more about figuring out what are the I guess reasons, for lack of a better word, where we'd be distributing tokens to a bunch of people. So another one is like if we had a simple way of like aggregating or getting an array of all accounts that have added liquidity, for example, on ref for the Marma J token. That would be another reason why we might want to like reward community members. But I think at the end of all this, having a UI to kind of visualize a lot of it is kind of the most helpful tool for me anyways. Usually being able to see like how I guess a contract works through a UI is where I start understanding what's possible, and usually I just start playing around with it and testing it out, to be fair. So just in general, do you have like an idea for when I mean, I'm kind of going through logging into this Trello board now with like my personal email for some reason.
Yeah, Chloe, sorry to interrupt you. I actually sent you the wrong link.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
This one is a link that invites you to the board, so you can actually also add tickets, and we will be able to work on those.
Awesome. Let's see.
It might still require you to log in though.
Yeah, it does. That's all good. I'm just going through it currently to get through it and just see what's up there. But no, this is near multi-call UI. Wonderful. To do in progress. Cool. I mean, again, for me, my immediate thought for near multi-call is just being able to like purchase NFTs from the community, and to swap near in our DAO to Marma J tokens. And that's like, things that like we've been trying to do for a long time, and I feel like near multi-call supports us in those efforts. Very shortly after that, I feel as though there's many other use cases that would be very helpful for the community. Like you said, being able to, pay storage and or distribute Marma J tokens to a wide variety of people. Like community members, there's still many community members that don't even have any near Marma J tokens yet. And again, one of the reasons for that has been there hasn't been a way to use our DAO to distribute simply to a wide variety of people. I see to do is a safe Croncat integration. And so, obviously Croncat is not on mainnet yet. They're planning to be on mainnet in the next week or so. But being able to schedule some of these calls would be wonderful. So the idea of, again, we get our grant every month in near tokens to our DAO. So if we know we're going to be receiving, let's say 2,500 near a month, it'd be great to be able to just schedule like 500 near a week, say every Sunday, to be a vote on the DAO to do the multi-call swap. And then we'd be able to, again, we talked about this previously, but if the DAO thought that the price of near was, too low or whatever else, we could wait and do the call later or whatever else. But it allows kind of the DAO to make the decision for when to actually execute the call, whereas Croncat is still scheduling the proposal to go to the DAO. This is very exciting. Thank you so much for putting all this in. My next comment or question would be, or just like, comment. We got to make sure we pay you guys. So On that side of things, in my opinion, if usually every Sunday we go through all the proposals from the community, we kind of discuss them. In my opinion, it would be great to see a proposal on the forums in the Marma J subcategory, just talking about the work you guys have planned. You guys can put in, Chlef, Lenkazar, you guys can put in as much work as you want to accomplish. In my opinion, the Marma J Foundation should be a support for the work that you guys want to do. And of course, I'll come in here, and if I see any areas where I can add my input or directions that would help the Marma J Foundation, I'll definitely do that. But more than that, it'd be wonderful to see, you guys are already doing it, of course, but pretty much just to support you guys building out this project. And in my mind, 3 to 6 months from now, it'd be wonderful if you guys were able to turn this into almost like a profitable company type of thing, where it is kind of like a Furo combo type of project. You guys could have your own DAO to figure out what are the next functions. You guys could have your own community to figure out the next implementations, and the Marma J Foundation would just be funding and supporting this project as it grows. So funding obviously is a simple one. Making sure there's economic incentives to continue working on it. But in my opinion, one of the main areas of support is testing this thing on mainnet. Yes, there needs to be economic incentive to, implement safe cron cat integration or, mint-based helper functions. But, hopefully the Marma J DAO will be the actual project that starts off testing this stuff on mainnet, making sure it's safe for the rest of the community to use. There's 200 DAOs on V1 Sputnik that are now transferring to V2. Many of those DAOs are in the creative section, like Duocelot. Hey, thank you for joining the call from the Clan Guild. They have multiple artists in their community. I'm sure that if they had a simple way of, purchasing NFTs from their community or launching a token and being able to manage liquidity, even for example, being able to use near multi-call just to manage liquidity, like farming, for example. The ability to, I know we were talking previously about the amount of withdrawals and deposits that can be in one call. But then on top of my head, being able to use Croncat to schedule those calls to be we're talking a minute apart, to make sure that they each go through in time, so that maybe a DAO could, manage their farming and automatically reinvest through near multi-call. So again, these are all later integrations, but I think many DAOs are full of non-technical or I call myself pseudo-technical. I can read, Solidity quite well. I can somewhat read Rust contracts, but when it comes to actually coding, way over my head to put multiple pieces together. So many of these DAOs are full of communities with pseudo-technical or non-technical people. So, calling one custom function might be possible, but chaining together multiple custom functions is usually not something that most DAOs will be able to do without some sort of UI. And so I think that having this UI available in the next, 3 months or so will definitely support many of these communities being able to chain together multiple DApp interactions, which seems pretty cool to me. So just my little tangent, little rant about being set up with this. But yes, we need to make sure we get tokens to you guys, however you guys see most appropriate. So I don't know if you guys are planning to, have a DAO launched sooner than later, and we can, send the tokens to that DAO on a weekly basis. If you guys want to put individual payout proposals to the DAO, to the Marma J DAO, from each of your individual Near accounts, that's fine as well. Is there a way in which you guys see payouts working from now, or do you guys want to like work at putting a proposal together first?
I'm pretty sure. First of all, thank you. Like very happy for the support. And like, if I understand correctly, payouts are made by like one has to make a proposal first, and so we'll always like indicate in proposal, for example, where to send tokens or like the necessary information in general. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, once you guys put the proposal in, I mean, yeah, we'll send it wherever wherever you guys indicate in that proposal. But I mean, I guess for me, you guys have done a lot of work already on this project, and so I just want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable submitting a proposal whenever you guys kind of have those ideas down. If you guys are planning on setting up a DAO to organize your project, I don't know if you guys are looking to get a grant from Near Foundation yourselves, but I would love to try and support that as well if that's a plan you guys are looking to go into or a pathway. I know the Near Foundation does have quite a bit of funding that they are looking to distribute to DAOs in like the pretty short-term future. And so, obviously it's completely up to you guys and the direction you want to take this project. The Marma J Foundation is here to support regardless. I know we already talked about the details and all of that. But yeah, just let me know. We obviously have the dev chat as well. You probably DM me about questions also. So thank you again so much for the work you guys have done on the project. Much appreciated.
Thank you too as well. I feel very happy and very excited to be working on this.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody else from the community have any questions, comments, concerns? I know we got Duocelot in here and Surst, artists from the community. We'll hopefully be collecting more of your NFTs very soon once we get this submission form up, which should be coming next week. And feel free to oops, Everett, I kind of had information for you. But yeah, anyone else, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to drop them in the chat or unmute yourselves. If there are no other questions, comments, concerns, we will be ending this chat pretty promptly. We will continue to have these calls on a weekly basis on Sundays. We might be so we talked a bit earlier about potentially changing the format of these calls to being on Twitter. The main reason for that would be to open it up to the rest of the community, so having it on Twitter Spaces. Having these more closed calls is great. In my opinion, it's a lot less stressful. It's a lot more casual. I mean, for me anyways, I can just chat and we have this, people don't have to unmute themselves. They can just, send a sticker or say hi in the chat, which is great. But on Twitter, it does allow, people who are just, casually scrolling by to be able to pop in and hear what we're working on as a community. And as we kind of dig into, Everett's project with Sunflower, as, Chluff and Len Kazar continue digging into Near multi-call, and the Marma J Foundation experiments more with that project. And as May, the front-end developer who's going to be supporting the project, supporting the Near Foundation with, Near login on the website and incorporating other Near features to the website. So again, incorporating Near multi-call into the marma.org website, in my opinion, would be a wonderful project that happens in the near to midterm future. It'd be really cool if other Near ecosystem participants could just pop in, ask questions about how either they can support the foundation or the foundation can support them, would be great. I mean, the main reason that we have the DAO and we have the tokens is to distribute them to the community. And while we have been taking quite a while to do that, in my opinion, So we've had the token launched since May of this year, and arguably we haven't distributed that much of the token. We've probably distributed less than 1,000 tokens so far. But the main goal is to distribute all the tokens the DAO currently holds, which is around, I want to say 12,000 tokens, maybe a bit more, Marma tokens in the DAO address. And so we really want to make sure we're opening up the DAO for proposals from the entire community. And I think that moving to Twitter Spaces will support in that effort. But that's all. That's about all for this week. This call is recorded on YouTube, so you can go back and listen. It's probably just a lot of my voice and my screen not moving because I'm so focused on what's happening on my phone. But it is there, and I really do appreciate everyone coming out to the call. So, Ramesh, I know you didn't get a chance to speak, but that's totally fine. You don't have to. Really appreciate you coming out, Serge, Duasalat, Ricky, and everyone else. So feel free to message in the chat throughout the week, and we'll have another call on next Sunday. Okay, so bye everyone, and hope you have a wonderful end of your weekends.
Bye, everyone.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm still live.